From historic errors to stunning rarities, the world of US 1-cent coins is full of hidden gems. Some pennies are so valuable, they could be worth more than your entire coin collection. Welcome back to the channel. Stay tuned, because you won't want to miss the incredible discoveries we have in store. Who knows, the next rare penny we reveal could be sitting in your pocket right now. In the world of numismatics, coins often hold much more than just their face value. They carry with them pieces of history, stories of the people who minted them, and sometimes even fascinating tales of their journey from the press to collectors' hands. One such coin is the 1976 US 1-cent penny with the D mint mark. This seemingly modest penny, a small piece of copper-plated zinc, has a backstory that could surprise even the most seasoned coin collectors. Let's start by setting the scene. The year is 1976, and the United States is celebrating a monumental anniversary, the bicentennial of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Across the country, Americans are celebrating 200 years of freedom, progress, and the birth of a nation. The United States Mint, in a rare and special move, decides to issue a number of bicentennial-themed coins to commemorate this historic moment. These coins would feature redesigned reverse sides to mark the occasion, adding a sense of novelty to the regular currency. This included the quarter, half-dollar, and dollar coins, each with its own distinctive bicentennial design. But what about the humble penny? Would it also receive the bicentennial treatment? The answer is yes. The US Mint decided to design a unique reverse for the penny as well, featuring a colonial drum, symbolizing the nation's fight for independence. This was the 1976 penny, a coin that would live through an era of high inflation, economic shifts, and, most notably, the bicentennial celebrations. Now, here's where things get particularly interesting. Although the penny's reverse was redesigned to celebrate the bicentennial, the obverse, the front, remained largely unchanged. It still featured the profile of Abraham Lincoln, who had been the face of the penny since 1909. The year 1976, however, was more than just another year in the coin's long history. It would mark a unique twist in the story of this beloved little copper coin. It wasn't just the design that would make the 1976 penny stand out. It was the minting details. For the vast majority of the 1976 pennies, the mint used the standard process. The coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, as well as at the Denver Mint, marked with the D mint mark. But here's where things get even more intriguing. Among the thousands and thousands of pennies produced that year, a very small number of them were struck on a special planchet, a blank piece of metal, intended for a different type of coin altogether. This misproduction meant that these pennies were not made from the usual copper-plated zinc planchets used for regular pennies. Instead, they were struck on what was known as a copper-nickel-clad planchet, similar to the ones used for dimes and quarters. This mistake wasn't noticed immediately, and the majority of these rare pennies were released into circulation without anyone realizing they were different. It wasn't until years later, as collectors began to examine and inspect their coins more closely, that the significance of these copper-nickel-clad pennies began to emerge. So, why does this matter to collectors today? Well, as you might expect, these coins are incredibly rare. In fact, there's a very limited number of these pennies in circulation, making them an extraordinary find for anyone lucky enough to come across one. As you can imagine, rarity is a key factor in the value of any coin, and the 1976 penny with the D mint mark is no exception. But what exactly makes this coin so special in the eyes of collectors? It's not just the fact that it's a rare minting error. It's also the coin's historical context. The 1976 penny, with its unique composition, was produced during an era of great change in America. The country was dealing with economic challenges, political shifts, and an identity crisis brought on by the turmoil of the Vietnam War. The bicentennial itself was a time of reflection on where the nation had been and where it was headed, and having a coin that symbolized that momentous time period makes the 1976 penny all the more significant. Collectors, as they do, began to place higher value on these special errors, and over time, the 1976 copper-nickel-clad penny with the D mint mark became one of the most sought-after coins in the hobby. As more and more people sought to add this rarity to their collections, its price began to climb steadily. Initially, the coin might have seemed like an oddball curiosity, but today, it has become a symbol of the high-stakes world of coin collecting. So, how much are we talking about here? Well, if you're wondering just how much one of these 1976 pennies could be worth today, you might want to hold on to your seat. In recent years, one of these rare 1976 pennies with the D mint mark has been sold for astronomical amounts, reaching a staggering $113,000. Why such a high price? The reason is twofold. First, as mentioned earlier, these pennies are rare. The chances of finding one in circulation are exceedingly slim, and those who do find them are likely to hold on to them as valuable pieces of numismatic history. Second, the rarity is compounded by the historical significance of the coin, which was minted during a time when the United States was commemorating its bicentennial. Collectors have a deep appreciation for coins that embody the history of a nation, and this penny encapsulates that moment perfectly. But, of course, this rare penny isn't something you're likely to find just lying around in your spare change. If you want to get your hands on one, you'll need to be prepared to spend a considerable amount of money, or, if you're lucky, you might stumble across one in your coin jar. But even so, the odds are stacked against you, and the more you know about these rare coins, the more you'll realize just how valuable they truly are. In the world of coin collecting, finding an error coin is always a thrilling experience. Whether it's a rare misprint or an unexpected design, collectors are constantly on the lookout for those unique anomalies that make coins like the 1976 D penny so desirable. For many, it's not just about the money, it's about the thrill of discovering something extraordinary, something that connects them to history in a tangible way, and so, the 1976 US 1-cent penny with the D mint mark continues to hold a special place in the hearts of collectors and historians alike. It's a small coin with a big story, a coin that started life as just another piece of currency, only to become a rare and valuable artifact that speaks to the ingenuity, mistakes, and history of an entire nation. So, the next time you hold a penny in your hand, remember, you're holding a piece of history. And if that penny happens to be a 1976 D with a special composition, then you may just be holding on to a fortune. Top 2, the 1985 US 1-cent penny, a coin that may seem unremarkable at first glance, yet holds a fascinating story that has captivated numismatists and collectors alike. Often dismissed as a piece of everyday change, this penny is anything but ordinary. In fact, this penny, with its understated design and seemingly mundane composition, hides a valuable secret that only a keen eye can uncover. The 1985 penny, with its error, has become a rare collector's gem worth far more than its face value. But how did this particular penny rise to such heights in the world of coin collecting? Let's dive into the story of the 1985 penny and discover what makes it so special. It's 1985, and the United States is in a time of recovery and growth. After enduring the highs and lows of the 1970s and early 1980s, the country was finding its footing. The economy, under the leadership of President Ronald Reagan, was on the mend. Unemployment was beginning to drop, inflation was under control, and the overall mood of the nation was one of optimism. At this time, the U.S. Mint was busily producing billions of pennies to keep up with the demands of everyday transactions, with people needing the familiar 1-cent coins for their daily purchases. By 1985, the design of the penny had remained unchanged for several decades. On the obverse, or front of the coin, was the well-known portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. This image had been used since 1909 in honor of Lincoln's 100th birthday. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial, symbolizing the resilience of the American nation, was displayed. This design had been on the penny since 1959, making it a familiar image for decades. The penny's composition, meanwhile, had undergone a significant change in the 1980s. Pennies were now made from a copper-plated zinc alloy, a departure from the earlier copper composition, but, unknown to most people at the time, one small mistake in the minting process would change the course of the 1985 penny's history. While the vast majority of pennies struck in 1985 were produced using the standard copper-plated zinc planchets, a rare minting error led to a small batch of pennies being struck on the wrong type of planchet. Planchets are the blank metal discs used in the production of coins, and these particular off-metal pennies were struck on planchets intended for a different coin, the dime. These dimes were made from a different metal composition, a mix of copper and nickel, rather than the copper-plated zinc used for pennies. This meant that these pennies had a different color, weight, and overall appearance compared to the standard 1985 pennies. Because the minting error affected such a small portion of the total number of 1985 pennies produced, these misstruck coins were not immediately noticed. They were released into circulation like any other penny, and most people went about their daily lives, unaware that some of the pennies in their change were actually unique, off-metal error coins. These pennies were distinct, heavier and shinier due to the nickel content in the metal, and they began to attract the attention of coin collectors over time. So, what makes these off-metal pennies so special? It's the rarity of the error and the fact that these coins were struck on the wrong type of metal. In the world of coin collecting, an error coin is always more valuable than a standard, unblemished coin. Errors make a coin rare and intriguing, and the more unusual the error, the more highly prized the coin becomes. In the case of the 1985 off-metal penny, it was not just an error in design or a small flaw. The error was one of the fundamental components of the coin, its metal. This meant that the 1985 off-metal pennies were not just different in a minor way, they were produced from a completely different alloy, making them highly collectible and sought after. Over time, as collectors started to notice the rarity of these misstruck coins, the price of the 1985 off-metal penny began to climb. Coin collectors, especially those who specialize in error coins, began to search for these rare pennies. Their value grew steadily as more people realized how unique they were. Word spread through the numismatic community that a 1985 penny struck on a dime planchet was a rare and valuable find. And as with most rare collectibles, the demand for these error pennies increased as the supply decreased, making them even more sought after. The 1985 off-metal penny is now considered one of the most desirable coins for collectors of modern U.S. currency. Error coins like this one are especially prized because they represent the imperfection in the production process. In a way, they are like small pieces of history, coins that were never meant to exist, yet by chance, they came into being and captured the interest of collectors. And now, the big question: what is the 1985 off-metal penny worth today? As with most rare and valuable coins, the price can vary depending on factors such as condition, rarity, and demand. But for a well-preserved example of the 1985 off-metal penny, the price has reached an astonishing $102,000. That's right, $102,000 for a single penny. This is a remarkable amount for a coin that was once a mere cent, tucked away in the pockets of millions of Americans. To put it in perspective, consider that when this penny was originally minted in 1985, it was worth exactly 1 cent. Fast forward to today, and this rare error coin has become one of the most valuable modern pennies in existence, fetching a price that far exceeds its original worth. For coin collectors, finding a 1985 off-metal penny is like finding buried treasure, a piece of history that is now worth a small fortune. In conclusion, the 1985 US 1-cent penny may have seemed like just another coin in the pocket of every American in the mid-1980s, but it has since become an extraordinary rarity in the world of coin collecting. The off-metal error that occurred during its minting has turned this once ordinary penny into a highly sought-after treasure. And while the vast majority of 1985 pennies remain just pennies, a select few are worth far more than their face value. So, the next time you come across a penny, take a closer look. You never know, you might be holding on to something worth $102,000. Up next, Top 3, the 2004 US 1-cent penny, an unassuming coin that's captured the attention of collectors and numismatists alike. At first glance, it's just another penny, right? A simple copper-plated coin, the same as millions of others circulating throughout the country. But this particular penny, when you dig a little deeper, is far more interesting and valuable than it seems. There's a hidden story behind this little coin that makes it one of the most sought-after pennies in the world of coin collecting today. Let's step back to 2004. The United States was in the midst of its second term under President George W. Bush. The country was grappling with ongoing conflicts overseas, especially in Iraq and Afghanistan, and the economy was in recovery from the dot-com crash a few years earlier. Amid these challenges, the U.S. Mint was hard at work, producing billions of pennies to support everyday transactions. At this time, the 1-cent piece, or penny, had already been around for over a century. And while it wasn't the most glamorous coin in circulation, it was still a staple of American currency. But in 2004, the penny took on a more significant role. The U.S. Mint, in honor of the 100th anniversary of the Lincoln cent, decided to release a series of new reverse designs on the penny. For the first time in over 50 years, the reverse of the penny would feature a design different from the iconic Lincoln Memorial. This was a huge change, and the new series would span several years, commemorating key moments in Abraham Lincoln's life. The first of these new designs was released in 2004, marking the beginning of the Lincoln Cent Bicentennial program. The design featured a log cabin, symbolizing Lincoln's humble beginnings in Indiana. This was a powerful tribute to Lincoln's early life and a reminder of the American dream, how a person could rise from modest roots to become one of the country's most revered presidents. While the design of the 2004 penny was a milestone in its own right, there was something even more extraordinary happening with a small portion of these pennies. Amidst the massive production of the 2004 pennies, a small error occurred, a minting error that would make this penny far more valuable than anyone could have expected. As with many other error coins in numismatics, the mistake that made the 2004 penny special was subtle yet significant. Some of these 2004 pennies were struck off-center during the minting process, resulting in coins that didn't quite align correctly. The off-center error occurred because of a misalignment in the coin's planchet, which is the blank metal disc used to strike coins. The result? A batch of 2004 pennies that were slightly misaligned, making them look unique and, to coin collectors, incredibly desirable. At first, no one paid much attention to these off-center pennies. They were just seen as an oddity in a sea of identical coins. But over time, collectors began to realize the value of these misaligned pennies. In the world of coin collecting, errors like this are highly prized. Why? Because they are rare. They tell a story. They represent an imperfection in the minting process that led to something extraordinary. Error coins often hold a mystique for collectors, especially those as subtle and unexpected as the off-center 2004 penny. The 2004 off-center penny quickly became a collector's dream, with people actively searching for these misaligned coins. The rarity of these pennies, coupled with the historical significance of the 2004 design changes, made them even more appealing. The fact that this error occurred during a year when the penny was being redesigned for the first time in decades only added to the allure. Collectors knew that any coin that was part of the Lincoln Cent Bicentennial program would carry added value, but when that coin also featured a rare minting error, the value increased dramatically. What was once just a common penny had now become a precious commodity, one that was hard to find and highly coveted by those in the know. Now, you might be wondering just how much a 2004 penny could be worth. Most pennies, of course, are worth exactly 1 cent. But a 2004 penny with a significant off-center error can fetch much more, far more than its face value. Depending on the severity of the misalignment and the condition of the coin, the price can vary, but the most valuable examples of the 2004 off-center penny have sold for as much as $33,000. Yes, you read that correctly, $33,000 for a single penny. This extraordinary price highlights just how much the value of a coin can change when it's rare, significant, and part of a larger story. For a coin that, in its original state, was worth just 1 cent, it's a remarkable transformation. The 2004 off-center penny has gone from an ordinary coin to a rare and highly prized collector's item, thanks to the unique error that occurred during its minting. So, what makes these coins so valuable to collectors? It's all about rarity, story, and condition. Error coins are highly collectible because they are so rare. The misalignment in the 2004 penny meant that only a small number of coins were affected, and even fewer of them have survived in good condition. Coins that are well preserved, with the error clearly visible, can fetch a premium price at auction. And for those who are passionate about numismatics, finding a rare error coin is like finding hidden treasure. In conclusion, the 2004 US 1 cent penny may seem like just another small piece of currency, but it's actually a coin with a fascinating history and a surprising value. The off-center minting error, combined with the coin's place in the Lincoln Cent Bicentennial program, has made this penny one of the most coveted modern coins in the world of coin collecting. For those lucky enough to have found one of these misaligned pennies, the reward is more than just the satisfaction of owning a rare coin. It's a small fortune, $33,000 for a single penny. So, the next time you pull out a penny from your pocket or your change jar, take a closer look. You might just be holding on to something worth far more than a single cent. Now, let's explore the fascinating world of the 2016 United States 1 cent penny, specifically the version minted at the Denver Mint, marked with the D. To the average person, this might seem like just another penny, a small, everyday coin that's often dismissed or left to gather dust in a jar. However, beneath its humble appearance, this penny tells an incredible story, one that combines history, artistry, rarity, and even an unexpected value that could surprise you. To understand why the 2016 penny is so special, we need to step back and take a look at the broader historical context of the U.S. Mint and the 1-cent coin. The U.S. Mint, established in 1792, was a key institution in the fledgling United States. Before the mint was established, the country relied on foreign coinage, including Spanish dollars, and a patchwork of state-issued currencies. The mint's primary task was to create a stable and consistent currency system for the nation. Among the first coins ever struck by the U.S. Mint was the 1-cent coin, a small denomination intended for everyday transactions. The penny has seen numerous changes in design over the centuries. In its early days, it featured various designs, including the Liberty Cap and the Flying Eagle. But it wasn't until 1909 that a significant change occurred. That's when the penny adopted the design we know today, the image of President Abraham Lincoln. This design, created by sculptor Victor David Brenner, was introduced to mark the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, and it would become one of the most iconic coin designs in American history. Brenner's portrait of Lincoln is featured on the obverse front of the coin. His likeness, paired with the words, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date of minting, has remained a constant on the penny for over a century. President Lincoln was chosen for this honor due to his legacy as a national leader, most notably for his role in preserving the Union during the Civil War and his efforts to abolish slavery. The Lincoln penny became a symbol of unity, perseverance, and the ideals of freedom and equality that America stands for. Now, the reverse of the penny is another story. The design of the penny's reverse has changed multiple times over the years, and the 2016 version continues this trend. From 1909 to 2008, the reverse of the penny depicted the Lincoln Memorial, an iconic American landmark. But in 2010, the U.S. Mint unveiled a new reverse design featuring the Union Shield. The shield design represents the strength and unity of the United States, symbolizing the nation's resilience and its commitment to standing together despite challenges. The 13 vertical stripes on the shield represent the original 13 colonies, and the motto, E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many, one, is a reminder of the unity that holds the country together. The 2016 penny, with the Union Shield on its reverse and Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, is a fitting tribute to the enduring legacy of the United States. But what really sets this coin apart is its mint mark, D. This letter indicates that the penny was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the 4 major U.S. mint facilities where coins are produced. The Denver Mint has a storied history, dating back to its founding in 1906. It has played a crucial role in minting coins for the country and is known for producing some of the highest quality coins. This is important because, while billions of pennies are minted each year, not all of them are created equally. Most pennies are struck in large quantities for circulation and end up in the hands of people who spend them without a second thought. Over time, these pennies become worn down, scratched, and damaged from heavy use. However, a small percentage of pennies are struck in perfect, uncirculated condition. These coins are often referred to as mint state coins, and they are highly sought after by collectors. A penny in mint condition, free from any signs of wear or damage, is rare, especially when it comes from a large-scale minting operation like the one at the Denver Mint. When you add the unique characteristics of a 2016 D penny, its design, its quality, and the fact that it was produced at one of the most prestigious mints, the value of the coin can skyrocket. But it's not just about the condition of the coin. Some 2016 pennies with the D mint mark have been discovered with rare errors or unique features that make them even more valuable. In the world of coin collecting, error coins are highly prized. These are coins that were struck with imperfections, such as a misstrike, an off-center image, or an overlapping design, that make them different from the standard issue. Error coins are considered rare anomalies, and collectors are often willing to pay a premium for them. A great example of a rare find is a 2016 D penny with a misstruck design that caused the image of Lincoln to be partially off-center. These types of errors are so uncommon that they can drive up the value of a coin significantly, with collectors eager to add them to their collections. Some of these error pennies have sold for far more than you would ever expect for a simple coin. So, what makes the 2016 D penny so highly prized by collectors? The answer lies in its rarity, its pristine condition, and the fact that some of these pennies have features that make them unique. The rarity of an uncirculated 2016 penny, combined with the high demand from collectors, drives up its value. And when these coins are auctioned, the bids can reach astronomical numbers. Now, let's get to the most exciting part, the value of the 2016 penny. Most pennies are still worth just 1 cent, and you might find a few here and there in your spare change. However, when you stumble upon a 2016 penny in mint condition or one with an error, the value can go well beyond its face value. In fact, certain 2016 pennies have been sold for shocking prices at auction. One particular 2016 penny, in near-perfect condition, sold for a staggering $24,000. You may be wondering how a penny could fetch such an impressive amount. The answer lies in the rarity of the coin, its condition, and the specific features that make it a standout piece in the numismatic world. When a penny is found in mint condition or has a rare error, it becomes a highly desirable collectible. And as with any collectible, the value is determined by how many people want it and how difficult it is to find that. If you think that a penny is just a penny, think again. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and even the smallest and most common coins can become treasures. It's a reminder that even the most seemingly insignificant items can carry incredible value when they are rare, well-preserved, and unique. The 2016 penny is proof that the world of numismatics is full of hidden gems, just waiting to be discovered. So, if you ever find a 2016 penny with the mint mark, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look. You might be holding on to a coin that's worth far more than you think. And if you find one in pristine condition or with an error, it could be a rare treasure worth thousands of dollars. The next time you encounter a penny, remember, it could be a small piece of history, an artifact of great value, and perhaps even your very own treasure waiting to be discovered. The 2021 United States 1-cent penny, despite its modest appearance, has garnered attention for reasons that go beyond its face value. On first glance, it's easy to overlook this small coin, especially given its low denomination. However, the 2021 penny carries with it a story that links centuries of history, design evolution, and a surprising twist that has collectors and numismatists buzzing with excitement. The 1-cent coin, or penny, has been part of the American currency system for as long as the U.S. Mint has been in operation. The U.S. Mint, established in 1792, began producing coins to create a unified currency system for the fledgling country. Among the earliest coins struck was the 1-cent piece, which has seen numerous design changes over the years. The penny has gone through many transformations, each reflecting shifts in the nation's political and cultural landscape. Fast forward to 1909, when the penny underwent a significant redesign. The U.S. Mint commissioned sculptor Victor David Brenner to create a new image for the coin in honor of President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. Brenner's design, featuring a portrait of Lincoln on the obverse front, became the face of the penny for over a century. The design proved to be timeless, symbolizing the country's respect for Lincoln's legacy and his role in preserving the Union during the Civil War. Lincoln's image has remained on the penny ever since, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. However, while the obverse remained the same for many years, the reverse of the penny has seen several changes. From 1959 to 2008, the reverse featured the Lincoln Memorial, an iconic symbol of American history. But in 2010, a new reverse design was introduced, featuring the Union Shield. This design symbolizes the strength and unity of the United States, with 13 vertical stripes representing the original colonies and the motto, E pluribus unum, out of many, one. This shield design has remained on the reverse of the penny to this day, and the 2021 version of the penny continues to feature it. The front of the coin still bears the familiar image of Lincoln, and the reverse serves as a modern symbol of the nation's unity. The 2021 penny is thus a continuation of a long tradition of coins that reflect the values and history of the United States, but what sets the 2021 penny apart, especially in the eyes of collectors, is its rarity in high-grade or uncirculated condition. While billions of pennies are minted each year, most of them end up being heavily circulated, showing signs of wear, scratches, and damage. However, coins that are in pristine, uncirculated condition are rare and highly sought after. These coins are often carefully stored and protected to preserve their original, unblemished appearance. A 2021 penny that has been kept in mint condition, without any signs of wear, becomes an object of interest for collectors. Additionally, the value of coins can increase dramatically depending on the presence of errors. Error coins are created when something goes wrong during the minting process, and these anomalies can make a coin particularly valuable. Errors can include things like misstrikes, off-center designs, double dies, or even coins that feature other rare characteristics. These errors are usually unintentional and rare, which is why they often draw the attention of collectors who are looking to add something unique to their collection. Some 2021 pennies have been found with such errors, making them more valuable than their counterparts. For example, a misstruck 2021 penny with a double die or an off-center strike can be worth much more than a standard coin. These types of errors are prized because they are uncommon, and they add an element of intrigue and rarity to a coin that would otherwise be considered ordinary. It's these rare and error-prone pennies that have captured the attention of collectors, and some of them have even reached incredible prices in auctions. Even though the penny itself is a low-denomination coin, the rarity and condition of certain 2021 pennies can make them worth a small fortune. While most pennies remain worth just 1 cent, a select few have achieved stunning auction results, with collectors willing to pay significant amounts to add them to their collections. In fact, one particular 2021 penny, which was graded in near-perfect condition and featured an error, was sold for a jaw-dropping $13,000. This extraordinary amount highlights how the world of coin collecting works, where rarity, condition, and error features combine to create a market for coins that can go far beyond their face value. The $13,000 price tag for this particular 2021 penny reflects its unique characteristics, and it's a testament to the potential value that even a penny, in the right circumstances, can hold. So, what makes a 2021 penny worth $13,000? It's a combination of factors. First, the coin must be in near-perfect condition, meaning it hasn't been subjected to the wear and tear that most circulating pennies endure. Second, the coin must possess some kind of error or unique feature that sets it apart from the standard minting process. Third, it must be rare enough that collectors are willing to compete for it. These factors combine to create a perfect storm of demand, resulting in a high price at auction. If you happen to come across a 2021 penny, it's unlikely that it will be worth thousands of dollars, but it's still worth examining carefully. Many collectors search for pennies that are in excellent condition or that feature rare minting errors. Even if your penny doesn't fetch a huge sum, it could still have value to the right buyer if it's in pristine condition or contains a noteworthy error. In the world of numismatics, even the smallest coin can carry significant value. The 2021 penny, with its historical design and potential for error, is a perfect example of how a seemingly ordinary coin can be transformed into a treasure. It serves as a reminder that there's more to currency than just its face value. Sometimes, what's hidden behind a coin's design can make it worth far more than you could ever imagine.